It seems like Google DeepMind has, well, created Aquaman within AI. Check it out.
I've been waiting for this for 40 years.
Denise has the world's largest collection of dolphin vocalizations. I'm a research scientist at Google DeepMind. Dolphin Gemma is the first LLM trained to try to understand dolphin language.
Dolphin Gemma will input sounds.
Once a dolphin starts doing a vocalization like a whistle, it can try to complete the end of it.
When you're doing a Google search, right, it's finishing your sentence, right?
Dolphin Gemma has Denise's data and sort of encapsulates a lot of the knowledge and experience she has in it. But it's also small enough we can train it with more data as we get it. We can actually keep on fine-tuning the model as we go and hopefully get better and better understanding of what the dolphins are producing.
We do not know if animals have words. Dolphins can recognize themselves in the mirrors. They use tools, so they're smart, but language is still the last barrier. So feeding dolphin sounds into an AI model like Dolphin Gemma will give us a really good look at if there are patterns, subtleties that humans can't pick out.
If dolphins have language, then they probably also have culture.
You're going to understand what priorities they have. What do they talk about? The goal would be to someday speak dolphin, and we're really trying to crack the code.
As you saw in that video, they are creating ways to try to communicate with animals, which is on some Dr. Dolittle type of AI experiment, which is pretty cool because think about it. If they can talk to dolphins, maybe it can expand to even, well, dogs and cats. Because you would probably love to be able to communicate a lot better with your furry friend than, well, most people. But basically, they're saying they're using the bursts, the whistlings, and the squeals to try to interpret and isolate what each sound may mean, because they said that dolphins are smart. They're able to use tools. They can recognize themselves in mirrors. So why can't they really speak? But maybe they can. They just don't speak like how we speak, because they definitely have clicks and whistles. You even see that with dolphins and whales, where they even have their own sonar type of systems or whatever. And some of it may not be auditory at all. Some may be non-verbal as far as what happens when they communicate. But being able to communicate with animals across the world and in the sea and in the ocean could be definitely a game changer when it comes to this. And they also have basically a Pixel phone, which is actually the one that's helping out with understanding and communicating with the dolphins. Check this out.
Totally flubbed it. This is a unit named Chat Lite that we developed here at Georgia Tech. We developed this for some marine biologists who are working in the open ocean studying wild dolphin behavior and communication. And they needed a way to play sounds that were going to be reproducible by those dolphins. While Chat Lite here plays whistles into the water through this transducer on the front, Chat Junior here on my chest recognizes sounds that it hears through the water with this hydrophone. So here's what we want to have happen. Two researchers get into the water wearing equipment like this, with a group of dolphins. And researcher A might have a scarf, a toy that the dolphins want to play with, while researcher B is going to ask for that scarf. So researcher B can play a sound, like this scarf whistle, and researcher A will hand researcher B that scarf. They might pass the scarf back and forth a couple of times, playing that whistle over and over. And the hope is the dolphins, who are watching all of this, can figure out the social context and can repeat that sound to ask for the scarf. If that happens, that means that our dolphins have mimicked one word in our tiny made-up dolphin language.
As you saw in the video, it's like this contraption they have that plays out the recordings, and they're basically trying to see if they do something and they have some type of squeal, can the dolphins do the same squeal to ask for the toy or the item that they have. As well as, if you see in this image here, they have this Pixel phone, which is the one that's running like the Gemma, which is pretty cool because this is real world use case, and as well as Gemma is really good at being a lightweight model, which I know there is some huge conspiracy with the Llama 4 where they have a lighter model, but it's not super light like a Gemma model, where Gemma can really run on your phone or your laptop, and their light model is still an H100, right? That's 100 gigabytes or 24 gigabytes of something RAM, or it's something that a normal person wouldn't have access to as far as funding to actually run that AI. I think this is pretty cool to see, and we can maybe even have maybe more in-depth conversations as time goes on about what's going on, because sometimes if you ever seen where animals beach themselves, where they'll go up on shore to end it all, even when they're put back in water they'll still come back up there. It'll be interesting to see how and why these things happen, and maybe get different type of interviews, if would you say, from these animals to see what's going on in their world and maybe how they perceive this world. But I don't think that's the end all be all, because even with human language, a lot of the language is body language, non-verbal speaking cues. So it also could be a lot of maybe our eyes are just not really picking up on, or perceptive enough to pick up on. But tell me what you think down in the comments below. Do you think this is pretty cool and you can't wait to have your own Dr. Dolittle moment with animals besides humans? But if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest AI news, robotics news, quantum news, you should definitely like and subscribe. With that being said, your boy Dex Not Dexter out.